Hi everyone, we're Maya, Sheeta, Jenny and Chris, and we make up Commonplace. And we're really excited to present our vision for the future of Stony Creek Commons. First, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that this presentation is taking place on, the Wurundjeri, Woiwurrung and Boonwurrung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation. And we pay our respect to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Our proposal focuses on creating a space for people of all ages and abilities to come together that inspires a sense of stewardship and care that will thrive for decades to come. Since the completion of the 2019 updated draft of the Stony Creek Future Directions Plan, we've lost approximately 24 million hectares of land to bushfires. A 1 in 100 year pandemic has impacted every corner of the globe, and a 1 in 1,000 year storm is currently causing flooding in 2 major cities. Going ahead with a proposal for open space designed 4 years ago will not serve the needs of the community today, and designing an intervention today will not serve the needs of the community in 10 years. So how do we design something that is able to withstand the shifting sands of time? The answer is to design a system rather than a singular intervention, and that's exactly what we've done here. We analysed the existing site, stakeholders and future projections, and have devised a series of placemaking interventions that will work together to ensure this project is able to adapt to inevitable changes and continue to bring value to both council and community well into the future. The 3 main building blocks of our system are governance, how our system operates, habitat and biodiversity, the human and non-human components, and inclusion and equity, the people and personal relationships that our system works for. We began our analysis at the precinct level, revealing important information about the Indigenous peoples and their history and connection to the place, as well as Indigenous plant and animal species. The site itself is flanked by transport corridors, a large multi-track train line to the north, and several major roads in every other direction, with few connecting pathways for active transport and limited walkability, effectively creating a small pocket community that is disconnected from the surrounding precinct. On the ground, the sound of frogs, running water, the occasional child playing and parents chatting are mostly drowned out by cars, buses and large container transport trucks from Geelong Road. The smell of eucalyptus wafting up from towards the creek occasionally compete with car exhaust, and in the absence of tree cover, there is little respite from the elements. We analysed policy and demographics to get a sense of the composition and future direction of the community and surrounding area. The most significant change relative to Greater Melbourne is that the city of Maribyrnong will experience a sharp increase in the average age of its residents, many of whom will be living alone in the year 2031. There is very little open space that is accessible and inclusive for seniors in the area, and we found no mention of any explicitly planned.
With an understanding of the context and future of the site, we undertook a stakeholder analysis. We first mapped out primary stakeholders with a focus on those with the greatest potential to help or hinder the project outcomes. We identified several local community groups, businesses, and other stakeholders who could play a pivotal role in ongoing placemaking activities into the future and create the ripple effect of stewardship that we are looking for. We designed 3 activities with the intention to investigate existing networks of communication, perceptions of council, and relationship between key stakeholders group, as well as the values and perceived barriers on the site. These activities inform our ongoing engagement strategy and gave us better understanding about which part of the system we needed to amplify and which part might need repair. During our engagement, we discovered a wealth of highly engaged people and groups who care deeply about the community and about the future of the park. They communicate in a multitude of ways. However, there was a distinct lack of connection between the groups. When it comes to matters of public land, the natural conduit between these groups should be council. But after a day of interviewing it became clear that there was a strained relationship between council and the community. The community expressed strong preference for a place that is aligned with nature, has a connection to country, and is inclusive and accessible. Many people spoke of a lack of community gathering places and of various events and activities they wanted to see on the space. Whatever intervention is chosen would need to be adaptable and inclusive. Again, we want a space for people of all ages and abilities to come together that inspires a sense of stewardship and care that will thrive for decades to come.
Our placemaking strategy unfolds in 4 phases, each punctuated by a budget review and community engagement over a period of 5 years. From now until August, a series of light, quick, and cheap activations provide an opportunity to test before you invest. Phase 2, until the end of financial year, June 2023, is an opportunity to use simple interventions to make major upgrades to site amenity. Phase 3 sees the introduction of our primary strategic intervention, a community gathering space and a transition to a new system of governance. Phase 4 is informed by the adoption and use patterns in Phase 3 and completes the remaining site interventions. Phase 1 is a chance to carry out rapid prototyping of ideas and get proof of concept from the community ahead of larger investments. With very limited physical installations and low investment by leveraging existing social capital to deepen relationships, form connections to the space, and improve habitat and biodiversity. These are some of the potential habitat and biodiversity-based activations we've designed, the stakeholders and the interventions. Importantly, this phase would see the creation of Stony Creek Commons website as a decentralized, community-managed source for gathering feedback and displaying information such as stories of history and eco-literacy. After gathering information and increasing interest from the community, the first major investment is targeted at providing much needed canopy cover through the installation of a large awning and strategic planting scheme using casuarinas designed to provide shade and act as a sound and pollution barrier from Geelong Road. Gradually introducing new groups as amenity is improved through a series of targeted activations will help to ensure that relationships within the system are functioning well and begin to foster a sense of personal stewardship and connection to place relatively early in the project.
Phase 3 is focused on the installation of primary intervention, a community gathering space, using our patented MojoCraft system, which will act as a central hub that galvanizes the disparate groups we identified in our stakeholder analysis, and an inclusive and accessible place for all ages to enjoy. Providing a space for socializing and gathering for the community is an important step in renewing the strained relationship between community and council, and will help to replenish the declining social capital as motivation amongst the group has begun to wane. MojoCraft also provides an opportunity to engage local businesses, and in doing so allows for the creation of a future development fund, where a portion of the proceeds from the commercial activities is allocated to further upgrades. Composed of only 8 different prefabricated aluminium components, the system is not only lightweight, completely modular, and able to be arranged in numerous configurations to best suit the activity. It is also cost-effective and requires no additional maintenance. Installation is very simple and designed to allow members of the community to easily set up their own event space. The website from Phase 1 will host the MojoCraft software. The program can be run remotely, online, or to further engage people on site and simplify the design process. We've designed an AR interface that will allow users on site to digitally interact with a builder program in real time and space to design their own MojoCraft. These are some of the templated configurations for MojoCraft, being the dog training park, a gathering space that fosters storytelling and play, and event spaces that may host events such as a concert and a gallery. The final phase is about taking what we've learned throughout the project and fine-tuning the system to ensure that the park is catering to all ages, to all age groups, and building upon the existing community values to create a resilient and vital place for the whole community. Interventions in this place includes the installation of accessible seating options throughout the park and a constructed creek and rain garden for improved hydrology and flood mitigation.
Community and council partnerships are increasingly common and create a sense of stewardship that is not achievable in traditional public managed space. New York's High Line is a highly visible example of how local government can maximize use of public assets to improve property values and provide public amenity. Closer to home, Ceres in the city of Moreland is a community managed success story, and the Greenway in Sydney's inner west exemplifies the benefits of creating a networked system to meet a diverse range of needs. Co-managed spaces ensure the community is able to connect and respond to changes and crises as they emerge, and allows council to leverage vast amounts of untapped human capital by empowering community members. This approach provides the optimum alignment of community and council objectives based on primary and secondary research. It offers a pathway to long-term cost minimization through efficient co-management and review milestones based on budgetary periods to get proof of concept prior to further investment. More importantly, however, we believe this proposal will create a space for people of all ages and abilities to come together that inspires a sense of stewardship and care that will thrive for decades to come. Thank you.